Hi, I'm Bruce Lanoil, and you're watching a podcast where nostalgia comes alive. It's Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. Let's roll it.
Welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, the podcast where nostalgia comes alive. Since July of 2021, Jake and his friends have interviewed professionals in the worlds of acting, directing, writing, puppeteering, and many more. Who will they be chatting with in this week's interview? Find out in this Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode.
Hey everyone, welcome to this special episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. Second anniversary episode. Happy to be here with us. I'm your host, Jake Deffinbaugh, as always, co-host Chris Bixby and Matt Bingel with his pal, Marty Monster. How you guys doing?
Doing
good.
Hello. Hi, welcome. Yeah, second anniversary. Woohoo!
Wow. What's the second anniversary? First anniversary is paper. The second anniversary is what? Plutonium.
I don't know.
Right,
Plutonium.
I
I get
guess.
plutonium paperweights to
I guess.
signify the event.
I
A
guess.
plutonium
I don't.
puppet would be very heavy, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would
Yeah.
be. Wow, 2
I'm
years.
just
Wow.
spitballing here. I'm just thinking.
Sure. That's fine. How you doing, Jakey?
I'm doing great as always. Thank you for asking.
And who do we have for
Fantastic.
today?
Yes.
Who do we have for this special anniversary episode?
Yes. So today's guest we have for today, he's also a previous guest who is the very first guest back in very
2021.
first episode.
2021 when this all
Yes.
started.
Like
Yes.
Long-
black and
long
white-
before me.
Yeah.
Black and white. Well, in terms of quality of the show, yeah.
Yeah,
And
and-
Tom Hanks, which is good. Everybody wants to talk to Tom Hanks. I
And-
want to talk to Tom
Cool.
Hanks.
I want to talk to Tom Hanks.
yeah,
Right?
that'd be
He'd be
awesome.
What a nice guy.
Oh yes.
He's Mr. Rogers for God's sakes. I'm Mr.
I know.
Rogers.
Exactly. Exactly. And our first episode was from StreamYard. Now, of course, since episode 2, we've been doing it through Zoom, and
Thank God for that.
I know. And wow, it's amazing special occasion for this. And I'm glad for him back on. If you guys don't know who he is, who for those who haven't seen the first interview with him, he's a puppeteer who works for the Jim Henson Company and the Walt Disney Company. He's a part of a lot of puppetry projects, including from the Muppets, Dinosaurs, the Wubbulous World of Dr. Seuss, the Muppets, Mayhem, and a bunch of others. Please welcome back the first guest, a previous guest, a great friend of ours, Mr. Bruce Lanoil. Happy to hear you. Happy to hear. How are you?
Yes.
How you guys doing? Wow. What a surprise.
Great.
Great.
I didn't
Yeah.
see
Thank
this
you.
coming. My God.
yeah,
God.
since,
Bruce is only the third guest we've ever brought back in the history of the show.
Oh, wow. So everybody else
Yeah.
gone out of your memory.
Well, minus two who have come back: Kyle Nelson and Calvin Lester. They've been on our show multiple times, and now you're part of that elite club. Yeah.
Wow.
Yay.
I'm
Yeah.
honored. I'm
Yes.
honored.
Yes. Yes.
So where are you guys in the world? Are you what cities are you in? So we can just
So-
tell the
so me-
audience.
So me and Matt actually live in Maryland. We're actually like an hour and a half away from each other, and Chris lives in Massachusetts.
Yep.
Oh, nice. You
Yep.
guys like it there?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
good out
it's
here.
Pretty fun. It's very hot outside right now.
Yeah, you
Not
see,
as hot
the
here.
weathers have shifted. We are getting beautiful weather in Southern
Yeah.
California here. Overcast, beautiful, and you guys are getting like the fires. Have you gotten smokiness? in Europe?
Yeah.
Yes.
How about
Yeah,
that?
but
From
yeah.
Canada. Can you believe that? Isn't
From
that amazing?
Canada.
I know.
Damn
Yeah.
Canadians.
No, it's not their fault.
I know it's not their fault. I know
It's all
not
our
their
faults
but, like,
because
yeah.
global warming is real.
global
and,
warming.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
Yes.
love Canada. Filming in Canada for a number of things was a joy. It's always wonderful to go there.
Oh,
Nice.
and since be back on, and how does it feel to be back on?
Feels great. Feels great to talk to you guys.
Yes,
You've been
me
doing
too.
this for so long, and it must be a real inspiration for other people. Do you ever get like notes and messages saying, I really admire what you're doing. How do
Oh,
I
yeah.
Oh
start?
yes.
Yeah,
sure do.
Yeah, that's
Guess-
great. So you're
get-
becoming mentors to other people because you've been doing this for so long.
Previous
Absolutely.
guests have even said that that kind of thing. Like Allison Bartlett said that when we recorded that with
Oh,
her.
yeah, and Jennifer Barnhart.
Jennifer
Yeah.
Barnhart,
Oh,
who's an absolute
yeah.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
All these years, I never
Absolutely.
got to work with her. We kind of weaved, but I never. There's still puppeteers that don't know each other in different regions of the world, because we get busy, get to work, and sometimes you don't always travel different places. But
Right.
Yeah.
it's still a tight community. It's really kind of cool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you
Yes,
guys created this community for people that think that they can't. And anytime you can empower somebody to say, yes, I can, well, that's what it's all about. So you should be proud of yourselves. I mean, this is not a small
Thank
Oh, we
you.
thing.
Thanks a
definitely
lot.
are.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very
We
much.
definitely are.
Yeah.
Yes. So to kick things off, to those who haven't seen the first episode, for those who haven't, could you introduce yourself a little bit and what you do?
Oh, they don't know me? Oh, I thought they knew me already. What do I do? Well,
I did most introduction,
I-
but
first I was just a fan of everything, and then I decided to become a performer, or I wondered how they did things. I think you guys did the same thing. I was 5 years old. My mom took me to the Fox Theater, giant building. I was scared, and it was in the dark. And the movie was the original Mary Poppins, and I couldn't believe that they were singing and dancing. I couldn't believe they were singing and dancing with cartoons. I couldn't believe that there was this imaginary world that could be created. And how did they do that? How did they do that? Already I was thinking, how did they do that? And can I dance with cartoon characters? And you start dreaming, right? You see things and you go, wow, you want to get to know it better. You want to understand the world of creation. And everything that I watched, Bugs Bunny cartoons, and I read Mad Magazine with funny, just things that it showed me the world in a different way and opened my mind up to, being entertained. When my family would watch specials, say like the Dr. Seuss specials, like
Oh yeah.
Mr. Grinch, and we watched the Grinch together. We watched Peanuts cartoons,
Oh yeah.
Classics.
yes.
And we would sit there, and everybody was entertained together. And when my family, we have families, and families sometimes get along, and there's different things that are going on in families. But when we sat around the television, which we couldn't record, if you missed the show, you missed it.
Right.
There was no way of watching it again. There was no internet. If there was a rerun, it was a miracle. But mostly it was, you had to appointment television. You had to show up. So, at certain times you'd watch shows I'd show like Batman and Zorro, Saturday morning cartoons. I wouldn't miss it. It was our block for kids. They didn't do a lot of things for kids when I was a kid. So when they did, it was a special thing for kids. And we knew when to show up and to absorb all those things. And then we pretend in Halloween to be Spider-Man. And what was your first Halloween costume you remember that you really loved?
Clifford,
Oh,
I think.
gosh.
Clifford, you were
the big
Clifford the
dog.
dog?
Yeah.
Yours was Clifford.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think the first one I remember was Scooby Doo. I think it was 2001. I think I was Scooby Doo when I was a year old.
Scooby was the greatest.
I honestly don't really remember what the first costume ever wear for Halloween, but I remember I dressed one time as a banana, one time as a ghost or something.
Look at this guy being basic.
I know.
You got Clifford, you got Scooby Doo, and then he's a banana over here. Like really?
You can't eat Clifford. You always have a banana.
Right.
You won't go hungry.
You can't eat Clifford.
Right.
You'd never eat again, but you just can't.
Well, it's a lot. You have to put it in the fridge or freeze half of Clifford because it's a lot. Clifford's huge.
Half of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. No more Clifford. Thank you. I'm
no more.
No more Clifford.
You'd be good for weeks.
Yeah. You could feed a village. You could feed a city.
You could. You actually could. You actually could feed a village. So what was your background like? I don't know either.
Well,
how was your background like? How did you grow up?
Well, I grew up. We left New York. Leaving New York was a big deal because it was a very tight-knit type of community and family. And New York was the center of the universe to the people that I grew up with. New Yorkers, they're very protective and they're very, territorial of thinking New York is the center of the world. But my mother especially wanted to explore the world, and she did. She's gone around the world a number of times traveling, and she really realized her dreams. But for the family, she wanted to have different opportunities. So we moved to New Jersey, and we moved to it was exit 5 on the turnpike. So it was about the middle of New Jersey. So it was like a new community, but it was still a rural area. And so it was quite different from living in the city, to tell you the truth. So I grew up and it was there was not a lot of diversity. So, we were a Jewish family. And so I was one of just 3 Jews in the school. So I was already an oddity. And then I grew up really heavy. And so I was considered, the fat kid and the Jewish kid. And so therefore people they didn't write me off, but they looked at me and said, well, they made judgments. And I don't know if you've ever had that in your life, you guys, where people just go, oh, and they assume things about you.
Yeah.
But what was brewing inside of me, I felt like I was like in this capsule, and I'm looking out at the world, and I'm very aware, and I know that I'm something a lot more than what people can see I am, as a kid growing up. And so I got to have a lot of time to ruminate, and my imagination was so strong and wanted to connect so much. I realized what is the connective thing that people like the most? And of course, they want to be entertained. And when I was sitting with my family watching these TV shows, when we watched comedy together and we were laughing together, everything changed. So I realized, I have a sense of humor, and I should hone it, and I should sharpen it, and listen really well to what's going on, and find out, how I can make the load a little lighter, find the humor in things, without
Right.
making fun of people, because I was made fun of, I was bullied. And I thought there's got to be a better way. So to keep the bullies away and to keep people from, wanting to judge me or to pound me down because I was an easy target, I was very quick with my mind and my wit. And so I was usually the funniest kid in my class. And so by doing that, I understood what made things funny, what people were thinking in the moment, and then trying to say them at the right moment. So it's all about timing and this and that. So I was like, I would pick my moments, because I was kind of lurking in the background and I was ignored. And so, I just saw, and then I took the chances of speaking up. And that's what happened in my career. I took chances every single time, and it took me to higher and higher places, to where I was working with, the top people in puppeteering. And again, you guys, I told you last time, I never wanted to be a puppeteer. It was cool. It was interesting. I thought puppets were cool. I thought the Muppets were cool, but it wasn't something I was trying to do. I was wanting to perform and connect, because once I got on stage, oh my God, people were clapping, and I was learning lines, and I was climbing into other people's, characters, becoming somebody else, and then speaking in their voices. That was fantastic. It's like a rocket ship type of thing.
Yeah.
That's what you love puppets, right? You get to go. It's like a freedom. It's like an extra room in the house. It's like
Yeah.
you put a pool in the backyard, and it's only for you, and you're just sharing with people because you love being there. And so you bring people into your life and into your realities, and then you guys share the realities, and then there's a community of people who do this, and everything just starts to grow. And it's like you're in this toboggan ride of life, and then you go, oh, and you see another way you can go. So you steer a little, you have some steering, but your life keeps flowing, and then you keep making choices, and hopefully somebody jumps on your sled, or you jump on somebody else, or you link up for a while. And then this is the network of what you do, and who you are, and how you communicate with the world. And so, puppets became an amazing, my life. It became my life because it was just such a great way of expressing all of the things that are inside of me, and all of the intricacies. Don't you love the fact that when you're in the puppet, you're also in control of the world, so it's you and nobody, you have to answer to anybody else. You get you and the puppet you take turns, being in charge, and it's not all of you. And as an actor, it's all on you. You have to come in, you have to know your lines. Usually you come into a situation where people are already doing something as a guest starring role. I did that also as an actor. I wanted to be an actor, and so stepping into other people's TV shows, it's very stressful, but it's part of it. But you have to win the part first. It's like all this competition, which is really hard for a lot of people, because you want to do what it's artistic to you, and you want to do what's natural, and you want to express yourself. Everybody wants to be in show business because it looks easy, and puppets look like the easiest thing of all, don't they?
Right.
And you guys know now. Know now it's not as easy as it looks.
There's some challenges. There's some challenges.
There are quite a lot of challenges.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, there are.
Yes. Definitely.
Yes.
And
So
the best part is you're still learning every day. As people have brought up in the past, you're still learning every day. People done it for years are still learning.
I go on Muppet sets, and then there's a scene where we've never done this before, and they have to figure out with all of their knowledge. It's like Batman with the utility belt. What do we draw from? These guys have so much experience. They could do just about anything, and they could do it really quick. And then they do it with 1 or 2 takes, because that's all you get, because it's so expensive to do productions. So you got, that's the thing about puppeteers and puppeteering. You can't just put a world-class puppeteer on somebody's, chest because they're funny or because they do one thing. They have to do all of the things necessary to make a production work and breathe with the other person, especially when a character has arms and it has a tail, and if it's animatronic, you really have to know and feel, the rhythm of the character and give yourself up to the character. That's my favorite part of working with other puppeteers, is when we collaborate on a character like Mr. Tinkles had 5 puppeteers on it, and we all worked together, and it was like, building an airplane together and then hoping it gets off the ground. It's truly exciting and risky, and I like the riskiness and exciting part of it, where it's like, sports, where you get the ball and there's 3 seconds left and you're going to take the shot to win or lose. But do you want the ball? You got to really be honest with yourself. Do you want the ball? Pass me the ball. But if I see a better opportunity and that last second I could pass to somebody else who has a better opportunity, that's when the team wins. That's when everybody wins. And the shows that we love become part of our heart and part of our psyche, and become more real sometimes than life itself. And then you're doing something that, I don't know, is ancient and communal. It's what we did as mammals by the fire. We told a story. How did you bring this meat home? Let me show you. And then they acted it out. It's the same sort of thing, and you feel like you're there. And that's what we're trying to do. And I think that's what you guys want to be a part of. Feel like this is brand new. We don't know what's going to happen in this moment, but we're prepared for anything. And I think that's what I love best, because then you feel every moment of your life, But it doesn't mean that performance is the only place you feel these things. It trickles down to everything else, When I had kids and we were creating and doing things when I was not working, we did this Y-Guide thing, and they had these races for cars. And, the creativity for my kids saying, what could we do with a car? What would be interesting? So, I would do creative things like this. I made this banana split car for my daughter.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is all wood, and then this is like spackle. And then I had to figure out, I had to extrude this like whipped cream. And then I found this thing. So I made it, look like and so when it was racing down, people were delighted to see, this type of design. It was my daughter's idea, and working with my kids creating. That's what enriches your life, when you're a creative person and you see things and you say, well, what if? Why not? Let's try this. That's the whole journey of wanting to be an artist and wanting to find a new way of showing something perhaps that everybody's seen before, but not seen through your eyes.
Right.
So the line between, the people you have on and you that have done all these things, or you guys are just on the verge of what can I say? You know, I have my, I have my posse. I have people who understand my creativity. I mean, I see you guys, creating content, not just talking about other people's content, because it's just a matter of, I have an idea, let's do it. Let's just do it, and then in this world, you realize you can do anything. Anybody can do anything if they take the risk on themselves, if they take the chance,
Yeah.
That's the only difference. It's just the leap, it's not anything more than that. And then people, because there's a huge need for content and stories that come from the heart, that's why all of this led to where it led. It's what I love to do. And then, the journey is it's up and down and in and out, but it's once you're aloft, you're flying. And you guys have been flying and doing this for a very long time. And so I'm wondering what you guys want to do. What dreams you have? I mean, as far as what would you like to make? Do you have any big aspirations? Or even small ones? Like the next step. What's the next step for you?
Well, for Matt and I, we're hoping to get we were gonna do a short film for Christmas last year. It's an original story, but it's set in the early 80s, which is actually really cool. We love our retro. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
We were going to do it last year, but some other commitments came up. So we're gonna try and do it this year. In terms of bigger ones, I think your biggest dream is to at least visit the set of Sesame Street. Yes, we've gotten to know quite a few of the puppeteers on Sesame the last 2 years, and they really love what they do. Most of you actually don't know about this, but after we just recently, cut this part out. Yeah, cut this part out because it won't air. It won't air as of the time this episode goes up. But we'll tell you. Yes, we recently had a guest by the name of Sebastiano Ricci. He's a current puppeteer at Sesame Street. Just started about a year ago.
Yeah,
just about.
Yeah.
And we brought on, after we had wrapped, we brought on his good friend, Brandon Smith, who's also a dear friend of ours. Very, very talented. B. Smith Puppets. What a guy. And he told us that, that our show gets talked about at Sesame Street. So that's a pretty big honor. That is a huge honor.
That's amazing, guys.
It really is. It really is. It really is amazing. And we've had people do their character voices on. You can come back now. People have done their character voices. Like we had Carmen Osbar do Rosita and all that. Oh my God,
wonderful.
So sweet, so sweet. That's truly special, and
Yes.
it just means a lot. And Carmen said, it means a lot to her that that we recognize her voice, we recognize her spirit and all that, and it just really makes her happy. It makes us happy as fans because like we know her as well. That we for the same reasons. The big inspiration for him is to at least, if not work there, then at least visit the set of Sesame Street. Now remember, folks, working on Sesame Street is all the ends all. No way. No. Sure, working on Sesame Street would be an honor, as we said. Our good buddy Brandon Smith, also a previous guest of ours, he now works for Sesame. So it's possible. It is possible, but that's kind of my big aspirations, because I think one of you two told me a while back. I kind of take it as like a masterclass a little bit. That's an interesting way of thinking of it. Because you learn so much. You not only hear the stories, but you just hear, like what it's like, it is kind of like a, but as you said, it's really amazing. All right. We've talked enough. What about you two?
You can go on. You can go.
No, No, we want to give you two a chance. What are your big and small aspirations?
Yeah. So
Like,
for
what are your big dreams?
oh my gosh. For me, as a small like inspiration, for me, recently I'm starting doing kind of like short like videos for Bean, like he's right there. And then probably after that I might gonna like start making like kind of like some type of like a mini series, and then probably whenever it's a good time I can I can have him like where him can have like some like kind of like guest like appearances in elementary schools or something, and then and see what happens, what people likes and what should get better at something, goes on and on. And for biggest, definitely one for me like it's definitely visit the Sesame set too, because like me like for we've been interviewing lots of Sesame like people, so and of course you're working in Sesame, it's not it's not easy at all.
Oh,
You get to work into it. If you want to
No, it's very tight. It's
that
very,
leap,
very
exactly,
tight. Very tight.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
Kinda
same for me.
yeah, so
Kinda-
because
kinda-
you've been like for us like if you ever like visit Sesame set, and I feel like their reaction be like Jake and not Chris,
Yeah, I know.
because of
I
what we're
know.
doing. It's
because of they
I think you'll get that
know.
response too. I think you would, it'd be a day you never forget. You should try to gather up a road trip. I don't know who you can go together and tell them you're
That'd
coming.
be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be so
that'd be
awesome.
fun.
And
That'd be
you should
fun.
film the whole thing so it becomes sort of a documentary of you guys going.
kind
Yes.
of like little bonus episodes, sort of.
Oh, but more than that.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
it's
Oh
like
my
a
God.
special.
More than that. It'd be
You're taking
a
the show on the road. You're going to New York. That would be amazing.
It'd be its own separate episode.
Matt
It'd be its own
actually
separate
went,
episode.
yeah, and Matt
It
actually
could be at
went
least
to
a
New York for
two-parter.
Sesame
Oh, my
Street the
God.
musical.
Oh yeah, you did go to New York to see Sesame Street the musical. Yes, I did.
I wish I could
last
go to New
fall.
York.
Yeah.
It was
was
so good. It was amazing, and it's coming back. It is coming back.
Yes, it is. I just hope in the
starts up-
future they're
starts
gonna
up-
tour in the around USA, and so see if I can go.
Well, it's
see the
back in
show,
New
but we'll
York.
see.
It starts up July 29th at Theater 555 on 42nd Street. Yep. The original production was at Theater Row, where they did the Winnie the Pooh show as well. Big shout out to Richie as well. Yes, him
he's
too.
also part of
two of our
That's
good friends were actually puppeteers in this musical. They did it on a pre-recorded track. Yes, that's right. It was a pre-recorded track, but they had other puppeteers, and I knew two of them. I met up with them after the show. Definitely experience I will never forget.
Wow.
But yeah, visiting the actual set itself would be absolutely amazing. Oh yeah, it would just be a dream come true for all three of us.
I did once years
myself
ago.
too.
Yeah, I've been there, and it was I was nervous. I was
You know
going
what? I would be
someplace-
too.
I was going someplace that it meant so much to me that I was really surprised how nervous I was, and I was telling my kids, don't touch anything, just don't break Sesame Street. I was like, what are we gonna? I had all these anxieties. It was really interesting, but it was like going to a holy place, because there's nothing like it, and the fact that it's lasted this long, and the fact that it's so a part of generations of people, just there's not really anybody who's alive who has ever watched TV has never seen or felt Sesame Street, and that's pretty amazing. That's
Oh yeah,
it's just a fabric of our childhoods. So things like that are so important. A through line of characters that you could pass on to your kids, or your family passed on to you. When we did the Muppets at the Hollywood Bowl, we did the live show.
Oh yes.
Yes,
yes.
so
There were
amazing.
I don't know. There's
that was
generations of
amazing.
people. There were grandparents and mother, and then their kids. So 3 generations would come to see the show, and and they were just all there was just this angelic smile and this feeling of these waves of just love, and everybody was relaxed. And it was, during the times where the political world was really, bubbling, and everybody had differences of opinions, but it all went away when the Muppet Show started, because the Muppets are going to take you on a journey of joy, and there's nothing else you need to bring but your eyes and ears and your heart. And it was just one of the most amazing experiences that I'll never forget, feeling the love from the stage, and then we were all singing Rainbow Connection, and it was I don't know if I told you I was standing next to Paul Williams. I was in the Swedish Chef.
Gosh.
And and we're singing, and it's just, we're crying, and oh man, I mean, that's been the gifts. Muppets have been the gift of my life. When Brian introduced me to the Muppets after Dinosaurs, and I got to start meeting everybody. I met Frank and Jerry, and I didn't meet Richard, but I work with them, on Muppets Tonight, and I right-handed for Frank, a number of times. Once I right-handed for Jerry in The Count, because he was doing a little bit that he had to do, filmed for Sesame. I right-handed for Carol Spinney. I right-handed for Oscar.
Oh, nice.
He came out for Oscar. It was going to be Oscars at the Oscars, and how fun! So I spent sort of the weekend with him and Debbie, his wife, and then we go to to the door to go in to do the Oscar bit, and the door guy goes, "I'm sorry, who are you?" And he goes, "I'm Carol Spinney. I'm Oscar the Grouch." She goes, "Swear to God, you're not on the list. I can't let you in." And they closed the door, and he didn't get to go into the party. I think maybe Elton John's party. Well, I don't know what it was, but it was something where he was going to do interviews and be grouchy. How perfect, right? They wouldn't let him in the door. So we spent the rest of the day on the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. Lovely day, but we never got to do Oscar together. But I got to know the Spinneys really well during that couple of days, and it was, what a gift, because he was truly the magic man. I'd say him and Jim were the purest form of what puppetry really is all about. Just open arms. Anybody can come. Anybody can. You're here for a hug. You're here for whatever you need. He was there to give. That was who he was, and you couldn't help but open up and be your best self when you were with him.
So you were one of the main puppeteers on the Henson series, Dinosaurs. Yes,
Yep.
Performing the face of Charlene Sinclair and numerous other characters. How did you begin working on Dinosaurs?
Well, this was a giant audition. What happened was the Muppets came west to do this show. I think when they first started doing this idea, Jim was still alive. Before that, I was, the only time I met Jim was at Muppets 3D, and the 3D movie.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
I love that.
What a spectacular,
I'm telling you, the camera was as big as this room, and
oh
when
my
they rolled
God.
those things, because they were the special cameras, and so everything was so expensive and so state of the art. Jim was always on the cutting edge, and all my time at Henson was working with cutting edge technology. I never did animatronics. I never did anything like that, but I love stuff like that. I was a moon kid. I was I watched the moonwalks when I was 8 years old on television. I don't know how they actually got cameras there when we actually watched that. That, to me, we have technology now, but there was nothing like that, guys, back then. And still we were watching people walk on the moon. The whole world was watching it. How amazing human beings are when they put their mind to something, and how connective, and how that to me was everybody. It felt like the world. It felt like all of us and anybody can do this. And if you're adventurous enough, and we're rooting for all each other, all countries melted away. It was things like that I was really interested. The unification type of feeling, the open arms feeling of we're in this together because we're just human beings, and we're we're fragile, but yet we can leave the earth and go somewhere, and we can actually watch it on television. How the heck did we do that?
What?
I know, it blows your mind. So
Yeah.
all the technology that was invented by Jim, just so he can tell the stories and bring these characters to life, was the perfect place for me, because I was an adventurer and I was willing to try and do anything, especially if it fit me. So they had this big audition for Dinosaurs, and this is true too. Two weeks before, I play a lot of softball. So I was out in right field, beautiful day. We were up 8-0. I'm just, a lazy fly ball comes and I'm running toward it, and I think, oh, I'm going to have to dive. So I dive, I put my mitt out. And so I fell weird and I rolled over my arm, and I came up like this. And then my wrist went, both bones broke. It was my left hand, thank God. I wouldn't have been not been in Dinosaurs. So it was like this, and my mitt fell off, and it was, oh my God. And so I went to the emergency, and the doctor, luckily he was a great doctor. He says, I can put your bones back together like this without putting pins in there, if you allow me to do that, but it's going to hurt, and then you won't have to go to surgery. And I'm laying there just in pain going, I'm going to trust this man. So he kind of just, he had magic hands, and he was a real great healer. And he just put my bones back together, and I had a cast up to here. Okay. And I am miserable because, oh my God, I'm a puppeteer, and what am I going to do now? So I get the call, and it's like, we're going to have a workshop, and this is for Dinosaurs, and we like you to do it. Because it was a week before that, I went to, before I broke my arm, I met Jane Henson at the Hotel Normand. That was amazing. I took this puppet, which I took to Europe. It was a baby puppet, and we juggled in the streets, my friend and I. We made money, and we performed, and this was before Cirque du Soleil, and all the clowns, all the great, David Schreiner, all these guys were commanding all of these people in the street and making a fortune. The clowns were making a fortune in the street. And it was a time of just explosive performance. And so my friend and I were there, and I took this puppet, but it was not a real good puppet. And so it was a baby puppet. I don't have it handy. I'll show it to you another time. But I took it to Jane, and she said, you have to work on your lip sync, but she approved me for the workshop. And so I went to the workshop with this cast. I had a cast. So they were cutting people every day. It was Brian, Dave Greenaway, Hans Marr, all the people who were involved with Dinosaurs, and they were choosing the puppeteers. So I kept making the cut. And then the final test was, they showed us a bunch of heads, and they were the Ninja Turtle heads. And they put me in front of Michelangelo.
Oh, wow.
I was out in front of Michelangelo, and there was the big one, the controllers, the ones that all the great puppeteers of Henson have worked and did all their amazing movies. And there's the technology. And I couldn't get my hand in because I had a cast. So I grabbed some scissors. I went to the bathroom. I cut the cast away. So my hand, I said, screw it, I got to get into this thing. Because I knew when I saw these controllers, I said, this is what I want to do. It's like a robot. It's like the power of it, the amazing, it just intrigued me. And once I put my hands in the controllers and I started making Michelangelo talk, as I wasn't a part of those movies, which I wish I was, but I knew that this is what I was supposed to do. And so they chose me for the show, and they didn't choose me for Charlene. I was just a unisaur. I was in the cast, but Brian said to me, you got to work on your lip sync. I said, no problem, I will. So I got to do that. And then I was upgraded to Charlene. And then I started working with Michel and Sisti.
Oh, nice. He's actually a previous guest.
We're best friends in the world.
Great.
He's awesome.
He taught me so much about show business and how to act and how to be and how to understand and how to give and take, because of all of his experience, performing on Broadway and doing the Ninja Turtles. So it was the most freeing, the most still to the day, the most amazing experience of my life. And everybody who's worked on the show, every time we have a reunion or we see each other, we remind each other of how much energy we had, how much love we had for what we were doing, how lucky we were to do a show like that. That's still alive today. You know, I'm still getting residuals from Disney Plus, and people are discovering the show. It's that part of it that kind of makes you feel like, you know, you'll live forever a little bit because you do something. And the reason I'm on your show is that I've done things that you feel like you felt my energies and what I was trying to say and do and be a part of. That makes us feel bigger than we are, doesn't it? I mean, it's just
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a feeling of just, yeah, you can relax because it's just something that you were gifted, and you had enough energy and talent to be a part of, and then you want more, you know, but they're not always the same. Everything is different, but the journey of it is still, if that's what you have to do, there's a place to do it,
Right.
because people need to commune and watch things together and feel joy and a relief from really the big problems of our lives. You know, you have to take a break from it because you can make yourself very sick, and laughter can cure so many things.
Absolutely. And
yep.
speaking of dinosaurs, can you kind of share like how operating those puppets kind of worked?
Yeah, we would puppeteers had it really good. We'd sit in high chairs and we'd have the controllers right here, and then we'd have a TV screen. All right, and then we had the headphones. Now the guys in the suits were on the stage, and then when they put the heads on, they would have comms. Now the comms would be when we went you know, general, everybody can hear each other, but then you can go private and talk to your puppeteer, and also the cacophony, because they could not touch themselves in the head. They couldn't make any adjustments or turn anything off. So you had to control what they heard as we're shooting the show, which we shot with just 12-hour breaks constantly all through the week. So, you know, you'd start, say, about 5 in the morning on Monday, and then you'd finish that episode maybe Saturday night at maybe 2:30, 3, 4 in the morning. And then you come back Monday and do it all again. So these guys, you know, the guys who were in the suits, you know, they gave up parts of their lives to make these characters work. It was so much work. But we sat in the chairs and we had our scripts and we had everything there. Sometimes we had somebody on the eyes to do, you know, to do some intricate things. Otherwise, we had the eye controllers, you know, on the joystick and the Waldo. It was called the Waldo and a joystick. So, you know, you're doing this as you're doing this, and you're moving these things around. And then you'd program it so you'd have expressions. So you'd have angry, happy, you know, perplexed, and sad. So as you mix them, your face is doing all those things, and the servos are, and you got to make sure you don't burn out the servos. We had 2 heads in case one broke down. Usually you had a favorite one, you know, and they really worked really well. And they kept, you know, they kept redesigning them as the show went, because we did it for 2.5 years for 5 seasons. And we just got better and better at it. That's the thing about it, you know. So Misha and I were so good, I mean, I'll give myself credit, that when it was a Charlene show, we would they asked, can you lop off a day? Because the budgets were getting tighter near the end of the run. So we could do a 4-day show because Misha was so good. He would do things in one take. And I was just keeping up with him because he was so brilliant. But we could save them a lot of money by doing our job really, really well. And we took a lot of pride in that. And that really paid off with Mr. Tinkles and the Cats and Dogs movies, because CGI was coming, but yet the shots with puppets were so good that they used a lot of them, and they saved a lot of money in post-production. And then you become very valuable to studios when you're really good at your job. And so we took great pride in how good we are with animatronics, and then CGI took a lot of the work away. But things are coming back, as you know. I mean, you're watching, you know, a lot of the stuff and the Marvel stuff, and on stage, there's puppets everywhere. Puppeteering has exploded, you know, and that's exciting. You know, that's because there's nothing like watching a puppet, because everybody becomes a child again. Everybody accepts what a puppet can do, especially when the puppet believes in themselves and can see and breathe. And as you guys get better, you know, you see how your characters take over more of the space because they're actually alive. They have a life, and they deserve that because there's so much love and thought and energy that you pour into your characters, and therefore it's like how Frankenstein, you know, the story still resonates with people.
Yeah.
animating life, bringing life to something. It's a godlike thing, isn't it? It's like it's very powerful and it's very subtle and it's very real. When something's living and breathing, and then you don't know what it's going to say, isn't that the greatest moment where you go, I didn't know you were going to say that, and you're just talking.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
and
happens
you think,
all
okay,
the time with
That
us.
happens.
I'm getting a little
me
crazy.
Too. Me too.
But that's the magic and what you
Mm-hmm.
dream of, because you have somebody with you, because we have many of ourselves and many iterations of ourselves, because that's how we can, perform different type of characters. There's sides, and you think of a relative and you do an impression of them. A lot of great Bill's characters came from his relatives, and from his heart and from reality. And when it's reality based, and you're sharing things that have given you joy and given you love, there's no stopping it. So that's what happened in Dinosaurs. It was just a giant wave of that. And we had more to do. And we never actually did another thing that big and that focused. That was the kind of the sadness of it. And we almost did a feature between seasons 5 and 6, or 4 and 5. And it would have been amazing to do a movie. And
Wow.
we regret not doing it. Brian regrets it too. I mean, it was a time and place. It would have been great to really mark that again.
Yeah, I love Dinosaurs.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
great show. Great show.
Such a wonderful
we've
show.
we've interviewed a couple of other people from who you worked with on Dinosaurs and other things too. Like we interviewed Alan Troutman, we interviewed John
Yes.
Kennedy,
Don
a lot of
Kennedy,
wonderful
yep.
people.
I'm curious, do you have any favorite Dinosaurs episodes?
Well, Nuts to War was epic.
Oh,
Parts
yeah.
1 and 2. It said so much, and so many of the episodes still stand up today because of all of the things that are happening in our country.
Yeah.
It lampooned. The satire was on par with Mad Magazine, and we would watch The Simpsons. The Simpsons were only on for, I guess, 6, 7 seasons, but of course they were the high watermark for any type of show. And so, watching their writing and watching what they were doing, all of our guys who were the showrunners for all the shows today that you've watched forever, the writers' room was amazing. So the scripts, it was all in the scripts. We just had to deliver what was written on the page. I mean, we were just the highest level of trying to do the best work possible. And that you don't get a lot of opportunities like that. It was a time period where the show was, it was a kid's puppet show, or that's what people thought, but it was not that at all. And that really reflected Jim. He never did puppets for kids. He did characters that and told stories that he wanted to tell,
Right.
and put people in those positions that were the best for the positions. He just had a sense of that, and we were all in the right place at the right time to do those things. But what else? Other episodes that I like? Well, Charlene's Tale. I mean, I have to say that because that was interesting. I'm my daughter Jenna. So I'm a girl dad. So I mean, going through that journey of maturity and all of that was a great experience. So Misha and I went through puberty together. His female character, and it was an incredible journey with the writing being so good. And Dava Saval was I think one of the only female writers on the staff, and she was amazing. So we were in touch with trying to be authentic, and it was. I don't know if we could do that today, but it was a great gift to delve into all the emotions, because it's tapping into the emotions that made it work best, So that's what I love. But there was I love them all, just
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, awesome.
Mhm.
So back to working with the Muppets. What's that like, working on Muppets tonight?
I was only there for 1 year because I was sent away to go do Dr. Seuss for the second
yeah.
season.
Oh.
Yes.
Because there was so many people there. I mean, Frank and Jerry, everybody was there, you know, and so that they were doing so many things. But it was what I think that Muppet Show felt like a little bit, you know, because there was so many sketches and so many stars, and there was so many numbers to learn, and new characters are coming out. Bill exploded with Pepe
Yes.
and
Yeah. Love
and
Pepe.
Bobo. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it just energized, it totally energized and gave the fuel to the Muppets being here today. You know, I think Bill and the work he's done, and especially the work he's done on Muppets Mayhem, is
Oh my gosh.
a kind of a masterpiece. And I hope you watched the whole series and all
Yes,
I
the
we
did. Yes, I watched.
Yes, we
I watched
did.
every episode the
Yes,
day it came
every
out.
episode.
Yes.
Every episode we've watched, and it is
That's-
amazing.
So amazing.
Yes.
And how about Eric with
Oh.
with Animal?
Oh my
God.
gosh.
It's the best Animal I've ever seen. You know, I saw Frank a
Eric
little
Jacobson,
bit
he's
ahead.
amazing.
And the baby animal
Oh, the baby
bits
animal's so
too
cute.
was so
cute.
adorable.
So cute.
Exactly. And then seeing them, you know, when they were younger and how they got together, the parents I mean, all of that was such a gift and a joy, you know.
Yeah,
That's the depth of these characters, and there it is. Yeah.
yeah. I honestly
Yes.
I honestly really enjoyed what Peter did with Lips.
Yes.
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 How that
It was
character kind of developed. I
masterful.
love that.
Absolutely.
Masterful.
No. Honestly, he took it to a place. Peter's got so rich material inside of him, and his natural enthusiasm and talent is just unstoppable. This is a character where he could do everything and anything to bring this character to life. He took the canvas and just painted it with all of the colors that he has, you know, and everybody brought their A game. You know, I was right-handing for Matt when he was singing to Animal when he was at the hibachi place.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And we're just crying. We're laying there on the floor, and it's just, you know, he's singing this beautiful song, and it was just, there was so many moments of impossibility, you know. It was every day. There was so many location shoots, and it was like doing a feature every week. They took on so much for the littlest of things. I mean, an all-day thing with trailers and trucks and stopping traffic, and it was just like for the beginning before the show started, you know, to show you a scene and get a shot. You know, everybody in the crew and everybody who understands puppets, it takes more than a village. It takes a city. It takes a country sometimes for people to understand the shorthand and all the work necessary to make the Muppets look effortless. So that's
Exactly.
the secret of what Jim did. He collected some of the greatest artists in the history of our industry to work in the Muppets and work on the movies and the imaginative projects that are still, you know, unbelievably in camera today without special effects, you know. But he was also ahead of the curve because of all of the digital puppeteering and all the things that I got to be a part of in the journey, because the imagination was limitless, because these people that were part of the Muppet lore all these years could do anything. They were, you know, the Imagineers. They were Lucasfilm. There was this hybrid of how do we do this? Let's figure it out. It's never been done before. We have to build things from scratch, and they did.
Yeah.
And these are the things we use today, and we take for granted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know for a time you also had one of your own characters with the Muppets, Mo Frackle. How did that character kind of come about?
Well,
Yes.
it was a minor thing, and it was only because I was chosen as one of the puppeteers to help out on Family Feud. And so
yes.
for some reason they chose a Frackle, and then right in the moment there, it was like, okay, well, you're going to be doing this, and what's his name? And Jane was there, and she had a marker because she had to put it on the thing and stick it on the thing, so, you know, the host would know who the character was. I just said, I don't know. I wanted a simple thing, you know. I was going to maybe first be my father-in-law's name, Cy, but Cy Frackle didn't feel right. And it was just, and I thought the Three Stooges for some reason, and Mo Well, I like Mo, no Larry and Curly, but Mo. But I didn't want to be angry,
Right, yeah.
Right.
So I just said, yeah, let's go with Mo, and so I chose, and then as they're, Louis Anderson. So where are you from? Who are you? And I go, I don't know who Mo Frackle is, and I had to make up a whole history. So I made up this whole history of Frackle Island. I said, I'm from Frackle Island. And Kermit was on vacation, and he came, and he was at the resort. We started talking. He says, you should come and, do some stuff with us. I said, that's very nice of you. And, I have a lot of friends here in Frackle Island. And so I made all this stuff up. I don't think it made it into the show, but I had to make a history. So I'm improving a history of who Mo is and how he knows Kermit. I had to make it up on camera with one take. And it was like, that was it. And so, okay. And so I always thought that Frackle Island would be a cool show,
Yeah, it would be.
I mean, it's like this tropical island, and then maybe they run a resort or or whatever, or a rehab center, or I don't know, a pet clinic. I don't know what it. I mean, anything. That could be fun. I think Muppets with real animals, which would be crazy, but probably fun.
That would be.
Yeah.
Sound interesting.
Yeah.
So you just start doing that, and then from those crazy moments come some of the things that actually get made or stuff like that. So it's just this you never know, jump in and see what you say. So Puppet Up does a lot of that, and that's where a lot of characters come from now with the new Puppeteer.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Just the imagination of just what if, and let's spool it out and see if it has some legs. You never know.
So
the Muppets Mayhem, amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing show. So Matt or Marty, which one do you want to take the next question?
I will take this next one. Go ahead, human.
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job what they're doing.
Yes, absolutely amazing.
Sure.
You also got to work on the Muppets with the Studio DC Almost Live. Oh yeah, that's a throwback.
Wow, yes. You really remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
about it because I've heard this before.
Well, I thought it was really cool, kind of that they brought the Muppets together with a lot of the Disney Channel stars at that time. I thought that was a really cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool idea.
That is awesome.
Yeah, what was it like working on that?
It was fun. It was great because I think what was the brother's name? The
Jonas Brothers.
Yeah. So I had one of the Jonas Brothers say hello to my daughter Jenna. That's the power. So I said, it's her birthday. Could you do that? So I did this, and he goes, hey Jenna, happy birthday from the brothers. Hey. And so the second he did that, I sent it to her to school. I guess she just got her phone or something, and they went crazy because can you imagine all of a sudden you're at school and you go, oh, I just got this birthday message from, they lost their minds, and I realized the Jonas Brothers. Oh my gosh,
we know that. I know that film from recently. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and Hannah Montana,
you madman.
Yeah, she was lovely. She was great. But her dad didn't like the Muppets. He was like very standoffish, and he just thought it was awful silly. So it was kind of strange, we couldn't win him over. But but doing all that stuff was a lot of fun, and it was a good bridge thing to do because the Muppets, had a dip. They didn't know what to do with them. This was when Disney purchased them, and they were just trying to find a home for the Muppets.
Yeah.
But as we see with Muppets Mayhem, they're in the world in themselves, and all you have to do is say, "Come hang out with us,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Muppets have room for everybody and have stories to tell. They don't have to have stories imposed on them.
Basically.
So I think the Muppet performers like when they're telling their own stories, and there's a history that they honor, and then they're carrying forward. And so that's the continuity with the Muppets that seems to work best and links the old with the new. Making too many new histories confuses it. And I like when the Muppets play characters because they're solid, real characters. They're alive. And so if they're actors, and so I think like Muppet Christmas Carol still is Brian's masterpiece.
Yes.
And still my favorite Muppet movie, to be honest.
Mine too.
One of my
Actually, yeah.
favorites.
Yes.
We just honored Dave Goelz for his 50th.
Yes,
anniversary.
I
Oh,
saw
yes.
that.
Yes.
I saw that live.
What a
It was
fantastic-
amazing.
That
We got
was
to
great.
toast him at
All
the
of them
end.
together at the very end,
Oh,
though.
my
It's kind of
goodness.
like when
Everyone was there.
Everybody was there.
Like
You were there,
God.
Kevin,
Kevin,
Fran,
Fran, Stephanie,
Stefan,
Oh,
so
God.
many
Bruzo.
wonderful, like
Oh,
everyone was
Henson,
there.
so many
Yeah.
wonderful people.
All
Even
the
Frank
producers,
Oz,
Even
Pete Doctor,
Karen Prell was there.
yeah, even
Oh.
Jerry Nelson's wife was there too.
yeah.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
It was so beautiful,
Yeah,
you
but-
know.
It
yeah,
was
I mean,
beautiful.
so many.
And,
For those,
and Dave
for
is
those,
a dear
what a
friend, you
legend.
know. When my daughter was going to Santa Cruz, UC Santa Cruz, the professor there has had Dave come speak at the college. My daughter was at the college and she was taking the class. You know, it was a Disney class where you watch Disney movies and you talk about them and this and that. You guys would love that if that was college.
Yeah.
you would,
Yeah.
right.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
sick.
we
You can
would. I
report
think we
about
would.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Dave was
Yeah.
there, and he invited me to come, to help. So I was there with Dave talking about, and he brought Gonzo, but he didn't take
Oh,
about. Yeah, can you imagine? So
Oh
the
my
kids were bored, and everybody was it was a kind of a stadium type of classroom, and you know how they were looking down at their, they were just not that interested. Dave started talking about the Fraggle Rock. And he was just showing some
yeah.
slides, but you guys would have been enthralled. But they were like, that wasn't a Fraggle Rock group. That was not the audience for these college kids. So they were kind of murmuring, and then he was talking. And then when he took out Gonzo, all the computers went chunk. You hear snap, 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 snap. And there was Gonzo. And then I was doing an interview. I was running up and down, taking questions and answers and stuff. And it was incredible. So and then we had lunch afterwards with my daughter, and it was just an amazing day to spend with Dave.
Gosh.
But to see Gonzo live stop the world,
Right.
I
jaded
know.
college kids who really didn't care about this old guy from the Muppets until Gonzo came out,
Till Gonzo came.
and then it was magic.
That's the magic of us characters,
Muppets, yeah.
I know.
That's the magic of us. For those wondering, that's the thing we're talking about is the Beretta Brothers, another fantastic show hosted by Gene and Bill Beretta. Recently, Dave Goelz just celebrated his 50th anniversary with the Muppets.
First one, the
50
Muppets,
years.
yes, back in 1973.
1973. And
I can't
to think
even imagine.
And to think we're just celebrating two.
Yeah, right.
50.
Yeah.
Imagine what 50 is like. Imagine what 50 is like. Good God.
Yeah,
but
you
no.
guys gonna have long beards, and it's gonna be weird. You're gonna be like,
It
I
is
know.
going to be weird.
Rumpelstiltskin
Yeah.
puppeteers. I'm still puppeteering.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
You people don't understand.
No, you don't understand at all. You don't know how hard it was.
I haven't gone to the
have it
bathroom
easy
in
now.
50 years. I've been doing this. I gotta go.
Oh my
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But
That's wonderful.
congratulations to Dave Goelz on 50
Oh,
years.
yes.
Yes, 50.
Yeah.
What a legend. Yes,
Legendary
absolutely amazing.
puppeteers
Yes.
ever.
And seeing that live was amazing. Oh my God, yes.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yes.
So
Especially where Dave's like, he's here.
yeah.
Oh,
He
no,
did.
Yeah.
No, it
He
meant so much
didn't
to
know
him.
all of them's gonna be there.
He's got so many friends around the world. He's
Just like our birthday zooms, Jake. We have no idea. Oh,
And even,
those are fun. Those are fun.
And even Bill
we do those sometimes.
even Bill at the end of that, he made like a little message for Dave, and he even got like a little choked up about it. Like,
Bill's crying all the
Aw.
time now. That's all Bill does is cry. He's an absolute mess. His heart broke open like a piñata now, and it's just he's such a just a basket of love, and he just wants to keep creating things to keep everybody doing what they do and being together, because that's where he that's where he lives and he loves and he wants so fervently to keep the ball rolling, and he's
Yeah.
such a creative
Oh, yeah.
genius. A friend beyond friends. It's just thank God for Bill.
Yeah.
Yes.
So since we're kind of running short on time a little bit, what was it like working on Wubbulous World for the first season?
It was a lot. It was a lot to step into because I mean I love the character, but only a handful of people got to do the character.
Yeah.
I just had a crazy audition at Muppets Tonight, and then it was a whirlwind. Weeks later, I was zooming to New York to do this whole show, which I didn't get prepped on. But the talent pool there, and all of them were in Avenue Q, and then they won a Tony and went on to everything else.
Oh.
To be a part of that, was really something, And I got some toys. I don't know if I showed you the toys. I got to record toys when I was the Cat in the Hat. So
Oh,
to pull that,
Wow.
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
my voice is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So isn't that amazing?
That's-
Here's a
So
little
there's not
bit.
been many of these
Wow.
in the world. You can find these on eBay a little bit, but
They're probably a lot of money though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I-
It wasn't a popular toy, I'm afraid. But this wasn't the only
Oh.
toy I did. You guys remember this toy as a kid?
A
See
little
and
bit,
Say?
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
I remember those. Not that one exactly, but I
Oh,
remember
that's
No,
those.
not this one exactly,
Wow.
but I had to record all the little
Wow.
panels. So when you
Wow.
do that,
that's
I
cool.
haven't
Isn't that
seen,
great?
I haven't seen that toy in years.
I know.
Oh my
right? It's a
God,
great
wow.
toy.
It is a great toy.
And it teaches, and it's hard to do. So you're actually getting a little bit of workout as a kid. Oh, so, very silly, but that's what was fantastical about it. And the first time I ever did the Cat, it was before the show started. They flew me in and they put me on a ferry boat in the middle of I guess the East River, and then it was a live feed to the Nickelodeon awards. And so in the beginning of the awards, we're going to cut the Cat in the Hat live on the river, in New York City. And they put me in I was actually driving the boat for a second with the puppet, and I said hello, and it was Rosie O'Donnell cut to me, at the award show, and so I never did the voice before, I never did the puppet before. I just had to put it on, and I had to just duck my head out and do the Cat. So that was a
my
really
gosh.
crazy experience. Yeah, it was a one night thing. I flew in to do it, and so then we did the whole show, which took about a year for the 20 shows, and then they went on to retool it for preschool for the second season, and I went on to do Dr. Dolittle,
Oh,
which was
nice.
a really big part of my life.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was a really wonderful experience. It's really hard to write, Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss was a genius, and so we did
Yeah.
a lot of shows that were outside the bubble of shows that already existed. So, it was hard to translate that for family entertainment on prime time because it was an 8 o'clock show. So that was a lot for the audience to ask the audience to watch that show.
Yeah.
And then they realized, yeah, this is maybe for more of a younger audience.
Mhm.
And so it lasted 2 seasons, but I was the Cat in the Hat first season, and then Marty took over. The
Yes.
second
He's
season for
also
the Cat.
previous guys. He's,
Oh,
he's
my
so
goodness.
I love
amazing.
that guy.
Yes.
What a treat.
It's
What a
funny.
treat was having
Yeah.
him.
Oh yes, he's awesome. And even previously, even his wife Annie Evans. And it's funny. One part when we interviewed Annie, Mari kind of did like a cameo appearance, and he was like, "Ooh,
Oh,
guys."
these guys. Yeah,
But Marty knows who you are too, huh? Everybody knows you guys
yes,
now.
Yeah.
pretty much.
You're not a
pretty much.
secret
Yeah.
anymore. That's great.
Yeah, and the
No,
fact
no,
that
not
they
even
brought it
close.
up sometimes like in the green like Muppet room or something, like, oh my gosh,
I know.
like did you interview the Happy Sauce or something, like what?
Oh yeah. As we
Yeah.
mentioned, our show gets talked about quite a bit at Sesame.
Right, yeah,
Again,
as we
once again,
mentioned,
yes.
once
What?
again, a huge honor. Yeah,
Yes,
There
you
it
go.
really is.
yeah, because it was it took us by surprise. We're like, wait, what? Like Sesame actually talks about our show. You
I
realize how
know.
big this could be? Could be, yeah.
Literally,
It-
yeah.
You're a part of it. You're part of the conversation because this is of your
Yeah.
love. Then it just, that's how it happens. It's just all of a sudden you find yourself somewhere. How did I get here?
Yeah.
And it's not a clear thing. It's just because this is what I love. This is what I'm passionate about. This is the love and respect that I show the people on the show. You bring people in and you make them feel important, you know.
Yeah.
You remind them, you know, that, you know, the things that we do mean something. Sometimes, you know, you don't always feel it when you do a live show and you're around an audience, or you're doing appearances, you know, then you can feel the audience. But when you're doing all of these things, you forget how important it is. And so this is a wonderful service as well as entertainment that what you do, because it's coming from your heart. You're reminding everybody this is what we love together. And it's just a natural progression for the performers and the shows to understand, without you guys, without the audience, it doesn't matter what the puppets are saying. If the puppets don't have somebody who sees them, the puppets sort of only exist in our mind. And it's so much more than that, because that's our heart speaking to each other. So you're actually you're so much a part of what this is all about, and the most important part, the most important link. So congratulations for doing that, because this is something that was just your passion, and it's become something that's a part of the story. So
Thank you.
Thank
you. Yeah, and you also got to perform it with the Muppets in the Muppet Show live at the Hollywood Palace. You know, what was that like?
We're going way back, aren't we?
Yes.
Well, yeah. Well, the Hollywood Bowl was amazing. And then we got to do it at the O2, you know, where the original Muppet Show in the country that they shot it in, and the love of the Brits for you know, the Muppets was tremendous. You know, that they have such a great history. And there was, you know, there was extra couple 4 or 5 minutes shot, because the show was you know, primarily shown in the British, because it was you know, Lord Grade backed the show with Jim years ago. So they did like music hall special numbers. I don't know if you've ever dug up some of those. They're specifically for a British audience. So they have old British songs and old, you know, things that the audience, you know, grew up with. So they're really interesting numbers to watch if you can find them. I'm not sure.
I think there was a short EP, I think released in like 1977, called the Muppet Show Music Hall. I forgot about that. Because it was only like 3 or 4 songs, I think. But they had
every episode
they
did
UK spots,
something specific for the UK
spots. That UK those old UK spots.
Yeah, and the Muppet Show Live from way back from 2001 that you were a part of. That's another cool
2001.
Oh yeah, that was so exciting, because that was the first time to revisit that, and that was the debut of Eric as Piggy.
Eric is Piggy. Yeah,
we watched it on the screen, and we couldn't tell the difference between Eric's Piggy and Frank's Piggy. It was Eric out of the box was pristine in that way. He's so talented.
Yes.
So that was quite exciting. And to do the show with the stars, it was at Muppet Fest.
Muppet Fest 2001.
Yes.
Wow. I mean,
the 25th anniversary of the Muppet Show.
Yes,
that's right.
What? Oh yeah, and you also you're also a part of Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Yes. Love that job so much. So much to be a part of that. And then I got to do Pepe Le Pew's voice in the movie, you know, which was incredible. Nice. And they actually had me audition for Daffy's voice, but I came up a little short. I was the second choice. I
mean, it happens where you're thinking, I think I get, but you know, sometimes you can't not gonna have to be like, don't be too overexcited, because if you don't get in, I mean, in that position, you'd be like very devastated, you know.
And when I auditioned,
so always kind of trying like don't think of that until.
But not,
it's very hard. Emotionally, it's really hard to you know, you get an opportunity, or you know, it's like so big, and you can kind of psych yourself out of it. It's really hard to keep yourself calm and focused when there's so much at stake, you know. I've had such big opportunities, and a lot of the things that I didn't get, weren't meant for me.
Right.
I got an opportunity to audition for many of the things, over the years that I didn't get. But then you look back on the things that you did get. But the competition part of it is tough because it's your friends too, and then your friends get it. And you have to go, this is how it is. This is how it works. Everybody has their time and whatever. It's that's the part also that's hard to navigate, to be honest, because it's hard to let go of something that you either worked really hard for or dreamed of, and then you have to change your dreams or modify it, and then accept what comes or retool and try harder, knowing when to do that. And it's everybody's life, that kind of thing. But you just have to keep releasing and then letting in and then releasing and letting in. It's not easy. It's not easy being a performer and to make a living. I raised 2 kids and they went to college, my wife and I. This is my wife's artwork, by the way. She's an artist.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yes.
Wow.
My wife, Laura.
Awesome.
I'm in her studio. There's all sorts of amazing stuff all around, and she was an actress, and now she's channeled herself to art. So you can keep creating as you go. And everything you do, gets you ready for those big moments, because it's just another creative moment. If you can keep it in perspective that it's just another dot in a series of dots or lights that you're stringing of your life. And then you look back and you go, oh, my life's illuminated because I did this and did this and I did this. But between the lines, between the lights is also your life. And you have to find places that make you feel good and feel clear and be with people who are positive in order for you to keep going to the next peak experience that you can talk about, that touches people's lives. But you can't ignore yourself and the connections you have that are outside of just the bright lights and those wonderful starring moments, because you star in ways that are smaller and affect people. You guys affect each other, and you guys keep each other probably positive, and you do all the minutia and the hard stuff to get a show like this on. And if you don't do the work constantly behind the scenes, you can't do these moments and have these shareable moments with the world. But what hard work it takes now, and you're always upgrading, and you're trying to do better and better, because that, well, this is who you are, and you're showing your pride of how you feel about the world, the industry, and the things that you love. So that's rare to take the time and effort and the respect necessary to showcase the things that other people are doing in the same way, trying to do their very best.
Absolutely.
And you have to be happy with your best too,
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
absolutely. So, since we're going to start wrapping up soon, is there any puppetry work you're working on currently that you can share?
I'm just talking to a lot of my colleagues, all the people you've had on and all the people who are working on all the shows. We're all getting together now. A lot of us are in our 60s. Yeah, and Alan Troutman helped getting this together. And we have
nice.
We're just trying to find ways of how could puppetry reach out a little farther, as far as helping people. There's a lot of people that are on the spectrum and have anxiety, and how puppets absolutely help bridge the gap and communicate with people. I'm working on something with literacy, to storytelling with puppets, which are, it's so exciting when a puppet and a human are in front of an audience of kids. I've had amazing experiences at my kids' schools. So maybe there's more of a national book club. I don't know if you guys got books when you were a kid, and how exciting it was to get books that were for you, right?
We had the Scholastic book fairs.
That's
yeah,
right.
me too.
So
me too. Yeah.
I was thinking
I
of
remember
something
those.
with
Oh my
Scholastic.
god.
So many memories.
Exactly.
Yes.
So to have a puppet read a story to you, you can go to a website or something like that, and then you can maybe set up a conversation with the puppet later on. Things like that. All my friends could do a network of local and national
Right.
book club things. Where you
Sure.
can, you know, that's the kind of community and conversation that puppets can bring that I want to kind of do. And I'm doing also teaching a little bit as a puppeteer artist. There's indigenous tribes in Santa Fe, and I did this new puppet called Zumi for Dream World, and it's
Nice.
Secrets of the Heart, it's called. So I did a lesson plan, and this is being sold, you know, worldwide also. To teach puppets, teach kids about, you know, having heart and individuality and all of the things that are important for kids to solidify. So, you know, if they're going through tough times or they're just growing up, that, you know, you have something to give. You know, I knew when I was growing up and I was I was not myself, but I knew I had the seeds of myself inside. This is another way for puppets can say, I have a voice, and I'm going to put my hand up, and I'm going to be counted, and I'm going to tell you who I am. You know, you guys are doing it.
Yeah.
And you're doing it,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
encouraging people to do that. The things that we're making and the things that we're telling people. I mean, this is such a beautiful thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
You know, because we have a voice, and sometimes you have to find a different way of expressing it. And puppets, blessed way of doing it. It's so much fun, as you guys know. You're having such a good time.
Yes.
That's
Indeed,
what
we
life
are.
should be about, you know.
Yes.
Right.
We have to go through things, but we also can celebrate any moment at any time, and it could be joyous, and you could bring a laugh or two, and take a vacation inside a puppet, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You need to take a vacation with a puppet. You could.
Yeah, that's right.
Go on vacation together.
You don't have to buy a seat for a puppet. You're right. It's a lot cheaper going with a puppet than a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even need a seat at all. I can just stay in the bag for a couple hours. You know, I don't
Right.
mind. I don't mind at all.
Right.
Nope. So what would you like to say to those who supported your work as a puppeteer over the years?
If there's people who have supported my work, thank you. I mean, I'm just grateful to be a part of the community and the creativeness of puppets. But it's just been such it's been my whole life, you know. And now, you know, I can retire because of puppets, you know. It's sort of a miracle. It's sort of a miracle. And I'm just honored to, you know, to be asked to do something like this, or to talk about things. I know in the past I've just been negative about what I didn't do. I've been critical of myself, of, you know, how I did things. But, you know, you try to do the best you can at the moment of who you are, and you can't go back in time and fix things. But as you go forward, you can realize that, you know, what you did bring of your heart and your energy is all you can really do, and find others that get you. They you know, they really appreciate your take on things, and it can be done a million ways. But if you get a chance to do it, you know, if I got to be the Cat in the Hat, Fox and Socks, things that I read as a child that I never, maybe I did dream possible. Then can I possibly do that? Can I possibly be Bugs Bunny? Can I possibly be Timon? Can I possibly, you know, work with Jim Henson? I mean, I was just a person, a kid, just a you know, don't want to say a nobody, because nobody is a nobody. Everybody's a somebody. But you just got to fill in the blank of what that somebody is. And all you have to do is pick up the pen or pick up the puppet, call a friend, and take a chance on yourself. So
Absolutely.
I'm just grateful.
Definitely.
Oh,
So if people would like to
that's
connect
awesome.
with you, where can people find you?
Oh, just go to Facebook. You know, I have a general thing. I mean, I don't have a whole big fan base of stuff, you know. So I'm around on. You can always find something of me, or just type in my name, and you can see all the stuff and all of the videos and stuff that I've done over the years. You know, it's all there in trickle, and I'm still a part of things. You know, and if I didn't become a Kermit, if I didn't become an iconic character, I touched the iconic characters. I was around them. Kermit knows who I am. All the Kermits know who I am. They know me, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's really weird. It's like, so I have my Muppets are my friends, you know, and the Muppeteers are my friends.
That's like
And-
Sesame Street and
Yeah.
us. Like it
Yeah.
feels
That
weird.
is-
Like
Exactly.
it doesn't feel real.
Doesn't it make you feel you just like, oh my God, you like you grow and you're bigger
Yes.
and you
Yes.
become, and it gives you more juice to go, who else can know me?
Right?
What else can I say?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's it. That's the secret. That's how you live and live again and live in somebody's minds. And so that's the memory of what we love and why we keep it lit, because it makes you feel alive and bigger than you are. What's better than that? And if you can make somebody else feel that way, you can change their life forever. So you guys are a part of that. You guys are a part of that. So keep going.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yes, so the last question that Matt's about to ask is a question that we ask all of our
Marty?
guests at the end.
Yes. Actually, Marty, you haven't asked this in a while. You want to? Sure. This is this is a question we introduced about a year ago, something
Yeah.
like that. About a year. We've asked this to pretty much every guest over the past year. Now we shall ask it to you, our very first guest. So of course this podcast is called Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. Thank you very much. Yes, my hat falls off.
Well, your hat falls off.
It's fine. I'll get it. I'll get it back.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
When you think of nostalgia, what do you think of? Or in your own words, how would you define the word nostalgia?
Nostalgia are the memories that made me laugh, made me cry. Nostalgia are the people and the moments that made me who I am, and made me grateful that I'm not alone. So nostalgia is like lifeblood. It's like food that keeps you alive. And I can understand the need, especially when people are in danger and people are fighting with their families and they're not being able to be who they are or not accepted because of whatever reasons. Other people are afraid of change or afraid of not having control. Nostalgia is a place of safety and shelter and nutrition and life. And so that's what builds who you are morally and defines how you want the world to be and be a part of and support others that feel the same as you do. So it has a tremendous portion. It's our history. Nostalgia is history. And without history, we're bound to repeat mistakes and do things that are damaging to others. But we see the good of that moment, a good of that era. Now, decades have passed. You guys are getting older, and now you're realizing we're not kids. And now, as adults, we inherit the world. And what are we going to say? And what are we going to bring with us? And the nostalgia you bring with us is the suitcase of, I have this and I can build upon it. So that's the beauty of people who have done it right in the past. And it's the blueprint for the future. Things that are old don't mean that they're not important and not pertinent and not have been done really, really well. I mean, all these these remakes that they do of our childhood shows, you're going through it. Some of them I feel they're unnecessary. The original stuff, a lot of the original stuff is magic. It was heartfelt. It was made by human beings that were the right place at the right time, and they need to be revisited. They're not always remade. But if it's remade, hopefully it's with love and respect, because those who came before us are the reason why we are here.
Absolutely. Great words to end on.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Words to end on. Well, Bruce, thank you so much for coming back and taking the time to do this.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you very much for
And
you being
honestly,
a guest again. And
get yourself to Sesame Street. They want you there. They'll open you. Plan this trip, guys. It will be epic.
yes.
All right, guys.
Please film it. I want to see you guys on Sesame.
We will definitely film it.
Absolutely.
That might be an episode coming up. Hopefully
Oh,
within the
boy.
next couple of months. We hope.
Epic.
Fingers
That'd be
crossed.
amazing.
Fingers
That'd be
crossed. Just
awesome.
stay tuned for that. And
Yes, and thank you very much for doing this, being a guest again. It's been a blast for catching up with you, and thank you, for what you've done over the years, and keep up with the work, and
We're thanking each other.
for you.
We're all in this together.
Yes,
and-
absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
and for your support of the
for the
show.
second
Yeah,
and for the special
absolutely.
occasion as well.
and-
Pleasure.
Yeah, and
Yes.
for your support of the show too. I mean, you being
Yeah, it means a lot.
the first
Yes.
guest, your support since day one. Day one really means a lot. Even though
Wow,
and I
you've
ha-
come a long
even
way.
though-
Yeah.
yeah,
2 years.
even though I didn't start in episode 1. When did you start? 22? Episode 22.
Yeah, 22. Yeah, Jason
Yeah.
Marston.
Wow, amazing guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, our show's come a long way. Thank you all for your continued
welcome.
support over the past 2 years. As we said, this marks our second anniversary. Woo-hoo! 2 years. 2 years. Thank you all. Thank you all so much for your continued support the past 2 years. We've got some big stuff coming. As we said, stay tuned. Our next episode is a special. Look at Bean just vibing.
Yeah.
Go, baby.
I know.
Yeah, no, please, I'm all for it. We've got a special Q&A episode coming up on Saturday, airing on Saturday, July the 12th. And then next Wednesday's episode is a very special episode as well. Do not miss next Wednesday's episode. It's going to be great. On behalf of myself, Jake Deffinbaugh, Chris Bixby, our manager, Kieran Devlin, finally got it right this time. Shut up. And our other wonderful guy, DJ Bob Runkel, and everybody behind the scenes. Thank you
DJ Bob Show
for
for
your
13 years.
and we've only done ours for 2. But he's been
Yes,
wonderful.
thanks
And
to
all
everyone
of you too.
who's
Thank you.
helped out with the podcast, who's watched, listened.
all the guests, all the agents who have helped us out over the past 2 years. And as we said, you may see a very special episode the next couple of months. So just stay tuned on that.
Yes,
Yes,
and once again, special thanks to our very first guest, Bruce Lanoil, for coming back.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Yes.
And being an advocate
You're
for
amazing.
us since day one. Yes.
Always.
Basically, well, enjoy the rest of your day, Bruce. Take
All right.
care.
Yes.
Keep in
Take
touch.
it,
I'll let
guys.
you know
Keep
when
in
this
touch.
goes up.
Yes,
Will do.
I'll send a picture to you, and I'll let you know when this goes up. So,
Wonderful. Take care, guys.
Awesome.
You
All right.
too,
See you,
Bruce. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's goodbye from us as well.
Yes. Thanks again for your support over the past 2 years. Let's go for another 2, eh? Yeah, go for another 2. As for the flashbacks we talked about, we might do like a special flashback episode coming up.
Yeah.
Very, very, very soon. I think that one will air on the 15th. I think maybe. We'll just figure it out. If you have any special moments you'd like for us to put in this compilation, please let us know either down below or email us. Go to our website contact form. Let us know there too. And our Discord too. Let us know. We may create like a separate text channel for that coming up. If not, we already did. Yes. Thank you again for your support the past 2 years. It's been truly incredible. All the guests we've had on, so many special people who have touched us, touched our hearts. So many incredible people. I'm not going to name names because I know I'm going to leave somebody out. But you know who you are. If you've been on our show, thank you. And all the stories, all the wonderful, wonderful memories over the past 2 years, as this marks our second anniversary. And again, as Marty said, here's to 2 more and beyond and beyond.
Yes.
From all of us, thank you. Jake, what do we say at the end?
Not sure what you said. All right.
All right. Yeah.
I think it'd be Keep Nostalgia alive, and see you guys next 2 years. Amazing years come, and it's, oh my gosh, 2 years.
I know.
Right?
It doesn't
Right?
feel like it's 2 years.
But yeah, it's
it
like what
really doesn't.
I know, but like what Jake said, keep nostalgia alive, and we'll see you for more wonderful interviews.
Happy
Yes.
anniversary! Woohoo! 2
Bye,
years. See you
everyone.
next time, folks.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another wonderful Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show interview. Be sure to follow Jake and the crew on social media and stream the show wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And as always, remember to keep nostalgia alive. Bye-bye.